We've had this view, which is governments are the best financiers, funders, and builders of infrastructure. And the problem is that that model isn't sustainable today, simply because the needs for infrastructure far outstrip government's ability to finance them.
The government getting out of the business of infrastructure is very important. Government is definitely needed because there's a lot of risk. A lot of these industries are natural monopolies and they need to be regulated from a pricing perspective. But delivery of infrastructure, I think the government needs to get out of it. And to get out of it, they need to create the right regulatory and financing framework for infrastructure.
We think that a new airport that is going to target 3 to 4 million passengers makes sense. And if you look at the numbers and the projections, it makes sense for us. And now what we're looking for is a partnership with the private sector to come up with a unit that is both public and private. And then that unit would work together, but with the private sector bringing in management expertise, airport operator expertise, and also working with government to raise financing from the private sector.
Where the market can't provide, the government ought to provide. Where the market can provide, government ought to facilitate. And I think today, a government's role ought to be to facilitate critical infrastructure, to facilitate long-term capital being married up with the need of society to construct, maintain, and operate that infrastructure. And I would say the examples, if you look in Europe, particularly in the UK, you look in Australia, and you look in places like Chile, what you do see is jurisdictions that have disproportionately better national infrastructure, higher quality national infrastructure, and as a result, I believe, higher potential for GDP growth than in countries who haven't taken that step.